Welcome to Legal Keys, unlocking time, revenue, and results. The podcast that connects you with the people, technologies, and trending topics shaping the modern legal landscape. From cutting-edge AI innovations to high-growth marketing strategies and everything in between. Legal Keys is your go-to resource for actionable insights. Brought to you by FasterOutcomes and hosted by Tim Sawyer, two-time Inc. 500 co-founder entrepreneur. We're here to help you navigate the tools and trends driving success in today's legal world.
Welcome to Legal Keys. I'm your host, Tim Sawyer, and believe it or not, today represents our 16th episode of Legal Keys, and we've got a special one for you today. I'm totally fired up. Joining me is Rishi Bhatia, CEO of FasterOutcomes. We'll be diving into the exciting launch of FasterOutcomes Knowledge 2.0, a game-changing product built for law firms that want to leverage their own knowledge base to increase efficiency, reduce costs, and deliver better outcomes for their clients. Rishi brings a unique perspective as a technologist and entrepreneur, and today he's going to walk us through Knowledge 2.0. It is transforming the way firms capture, organize, and act on the information they already have, all of their intellectual property. It's an absolutely incredible product that FasterOutcomes is bringing to market. Stick with us. This is going to be a powerful conversation about the future of legal work, and it's happening now. A little bit about Rishi Bhatia, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I get it right. Rishi Bhatia is the founder and CEO of FasterOutcomes, bringing over 20 years of experience as a technologist, product leader, operator, CEO, CTO in high-growth SaaS and consumer software companies. He holds executive education credentials from MIT Sloan. This guy's a genius, where he deepened his experience in strategy, innovation, operations, and leadership. Prior to FasterOutcomes, Rishi has led product development and engineering at both public companies and startups with a track record of scaling products, building teams, and delivering value across multiple verticals. And don't hold this against me. I live in New England, but Rishi's last company, he was the CEO of Purple Carrot. Purple Carrot was a vegan home delivery service, and one of their main influencers was Tom Brady. I can't wait to talk to Rishi about that. Rishi, welcome to Legal Keys.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
Talk a little bit about your inspiration to throw your hat into this ring. What's the story behind that?
That experience was not fun, and perhaps it was the darkest phase in my life. And because what was at stake was not just the money. Money is something that you can make again in life, but it was the safety of my kids. And I vividly recall sitting in a courtroom with my attorney, my kids, and an opposing counsel. They cite the fact, and there's a rebuttal point, and we have to find a paper, and this paper is sitting in in a box that has like 5 to 6 different binders, and we have to find a needle in a haystack. And fortunately, my attorney and we took a step back, and we were able to organize everything into timeline, summary, and all the documents were digitized. And my attorney was pretty shocked to go do that. And that was my learning in the judicial system, that you could have all the facts and the evidence in your favor, but if you're not able to bring them at the right moment at the right time, you could have an outcome that is not in your favor. And this became the foundation for FasterOutcomes to really use the tech and AI to bridge the justice gap by empowering law firms to have the best tools at their disposal so that they can leverage their knowledge and create better outcomes for their clients.
What use the use case, the type of client, and happy to use it, that you can use brand names, okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the type of client and the process.
A business law firm in the healthcare space, and they've been in business for the last 15 to 20 years, and they had 600,000 documents that were offline, that were not digitized yet. So the first step in knowledge was really bringing this information in the digital world by running an OCR process in an encrypted and SOC 2 and HIPAA compliant way, which really means that it's protected, enterprise grade, And now it's digitized so they can have conversation with any document at any time on their fingertips. And another law firm, and I just came out of it today. They are happened to be in Florida, and we are in the process of onboarding them today. And they described this like you have your own Chat GPT on your own database for the first time, or in a more simpler way. When you're having a conversation on GPT, you're doing that in an open world which is not secure. But here you have your own instance of AI running on your own data, and you can do everything that you can do with GPT and more with knowledge. Tim.
Walk me through what my process would be to get to where I need to go.
Well, from the corporate world, because knowledge is really applicable to business and corporate sector. And I'm going to name the company, and maybe let's pick a fictitious name. Let's call Acme AI. Over their life cycle, they've been around for the last 5 years, and what they've done is they've hired 2,000 to 3,000 employees. They've raised capital. They've gone public, and they are now getting acquired by a pharmaceutical company. And over their life cycle, maybe they've generated 100,000 documents that are, they're in PDFs, emails, transcripts, and Word docs and all that. And during acquisition, and let's call the company acquiring them, Pharmaco, they need to review the employment contracts to really figure out who owns to check for liability, IP protection, and all the fine print. And that review today by hand is going to take weeks, and that's going to slow the acquisition down. But today, with the power of AI, with FasterOutcomes, we're building something where you can run the due diligence at scale in hours, not weeks. And here's the reality that over 60% of the legal data is unstructured. And what do I mean by that? It lives in email, PDFs, and it's scattered, right? And the clients are drowning in it. And for law firms, the institutional knowledge that's stuck with the top attorneys, and succession training is really hard, and the workflow is not consistent because not every attorney has the same level of information or access to knowledge. And that is why we built FasterOutcomes, to really aggregate the unstructured data and deliver domain-trained AI for investigation and all the repetitive work that you're going to do with one of the simplest interfaces out there. And let's take an example of a client. There's a client in Texas, and what we did for them is aggregated their unstructured data over 550,000 documents. And for the first time, from one central place, they can have conversation with any document. And using that document, what they can now do is draft another document. They can run research. In addition to that, what they can do is they can get back to their clients a lot faster. And this is where FasterOutcomes, what we've done with knowledge, it's truly transformative for law firms.
One of the challenges in legal is that 1 in 6 attorneys is over 60. The average age of a lawyer is 47. That poses a couple challenges, right? One is succession planning, and not so much in the sense of who's going to own the law firm, but there's a lot of data to show what happens when a big dog, male or female, leaves the firm in terms of intellectual capital, in terms of revenue.
Yeah, Tim, we are seeing this play out with the multiple firms that we are working with. Picture a lawyer who started their practice 25 years ago. They were really passionate, and now this law firm is successful. And fast forward to 2025, they've built a powerhouse firm, and maybe they have 50 employees with 18 attorneys, paralegals, associates, and clerks. And now they're ready to retire or move on. But along their journey, imagine the transformation of tools, right? They move from typewriter to computer, then to desktop, then to mobile, then to cloud, and now to AI. As a result, the processes don't keep up. The documents, notes, workflows, they're all scattered and they're siloed. And this is why the billing rates, Tim, they look like the way they do, right? A partner can command $1,000 to $1,500 an hour or higher, because they've seen 20x more cases, they have litigated a lot more, and they have this pattern recognition because they have this lived experience. But associates have not done that yet because they are a lot younger, and yet they haven't gone down this path yet. Now, imagine if you could capture and standardize the workflows with your top attorneys, top partners with AI. And if your entire firm had access to the same organized knowledge base where every associate, every paralegal, every clerk could research and investigate with the same level of depth as the senior partner, then it turns into something, the system turns into something that's a lot bigger than case management because it becomes a learning system for your entire firm.
How do you digitize that? So what steps are you guys taking to help pull that information?
Yeah, Tim, that's a great question because we are in the process of building the notion of notebooks inside the knowledge platform. And think of notebooks as repeatable playbooks for your law firms. And this is how it works. We spend a lot of time, we sit down with the owner or the senior partner, and we codify, we start writing down different rules of engagement. Like if there's a matter of this type in this area of law, what are the set of actions that you take? How do you handle the matter type? What are the rules of the engagement and what are the exceptions? So what we are doing is capturing that institutional knowledge that's sitting in someone's brain and lock that right into the platform. So instead of living with the one partner, now you have a reusable notebook that every associate, every paralegal, every attorney in your law firm could use it. So over time, this creates sort of a repeatable, consistent, and a true learning system for your entire law firm.
In general, what trends can you see in AI transforming legal?
The biggest trend, it's not just the AI itself, it's the rate of change and the rate of innovation. AI is learning faster than the human brain. And for the first time, AI has memory. So not only AI can think, it can learn, it has memory, now it can remember. But at the same time, the cost of working with AI is dropping. The token costs are, dropping pretty rapidly. And the pace of the innovation of AI, it's a compounding effect, right? Doubling every 3 to 6 months. That means in a year, you're looking at 4x innovation in 18 months, 16x, right? And you get the point. So in summary, we haven't even scratched the surface of what's possible. What does that mean for legal? The services work that humans are doing today, whether it's research, drafting, review, that's going to be massively disruptive. And it's not only going to be disrupted just in law, it's going to happen across anything that touches services. And by services, I mean any place where human is doing the knowledge work, whether it's across consulting, accounting, healthcare, coding, you name it. It's all going to be massively disrupted by AI. And as it shifts to AI, the knowledge work is going to become better, faster, and at a lower cost. And here's the kicker. The clients are actually going to demand that you use AI because they're not going to be able to pay the same, they won't pay the same rate for the work that they used to pay before. I've been in talks with a couple of corporate and business firms, and they now have starter packages to help companies get started. Before it was a billable hourly rate. So in a nutshell, if you're not using AI, you will be left behind. And this is why it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, whether you're running a law firm, healthcare practice, or a startup, the time to build with something generational is now.
To that point, how are you preparing your team, your company? What's your leadership philosophy to tackle that? That's a big first time in history, right? So
excellent question. We've never faced a moment in history like this where the machines are learning faster than us and they're actually going to outpace us. So it really starts with me. I read, I listen, I experiment with AI every day, and I push the team to do the same. Because the only way to lead through this is that we need to evolve just as fast as the technology is evolving. And at FasterOutcomes, there are two core principles. One is the speed of learning, and second is collaboration. And here's how I think about it. If you're hiring people on one axis, or let's take the y-axis, if you hire the smartest engineer in the room, but they're only 2x better than the average, but if their rate of learning on the y-axis is only 5 to 10% a year, they don't use AI, they're going to stall, because what's happening with the company is growing pretty rapidly, and the company is going to outpace them. Maybe they are smarter than us today, but in 6 months, as the tooling gets better, as the AI gets better, they're not learning and they're not going to be able to keep up. But take another engineer, and maybe they only have few years of experience out of college, but their rate of learning is at 100%. I will hire that person every time because they are going to be able to grow at the speed at which the company is growing, and they will be able to keep up. And this is why we have the sharpest tech talent in the company. In the product and engineering team, we have people from Uber, Meta, PayPal, Amazon. Not everyone is on LinkedIn, and they're learning fast and they're executing faster. And the second principle I wanted to talk about was collaboration. It's one thing just to learn, but then you have to turn that into action. And this is where we collaborate with our clients, and we are fortunate to have amazing clients who are deeply embedded with the business as domain experts. So as AI is evolving, what we do is we build prototypes and show them what's possible. And then what we do is every step of the way, we meet with them, we refine the product, and so that the workflows are becoming better and faster. Because when clients are seeing what's possible with AI, not only they're blown away, they themselves are bringing a lot of ideas to the table. And this is where my learning philosophy, and this is deeply embedded in the business, is that learning and collaboration internally and externally is something that we need to keep up, and we need to constantly amp up and raise the bar.
When you think about it, what are if you said it's kind of three things that all law firms of all sizes need to think about, whether they work with Faster Outcomes or become a fan of Rishi Bhatia, what takeaways can you give them that they can go back to the law firm tomorrow and go, we should do this?
Tim, the firms that learn the fastest, embrace change, and deliver faster outcomes, they are not just going to compete, they're going to dominate and scale. So I would really hyper focus any law firm that wants to have three takeaways. How do you learn faster, put that into action? How do you embrace change with a cultural motivator for your law firm so that you are seeing AI is not as a threat, but more as a friend that's going to help you scale? And the third one is delivering faster outcomes for your clients. And if you do those things right, it's going to help you build a company that you can scale versus just competing.
And if someone wants to look in, they listen to this and they go, hey, that knowledge sounds pretty cool. I'm interested in that. What's the best way to find Faster Outcomes, and could they send an email to you directly?
To reach me is via email, and it's rishi@fasteroutcomes.com. Rishi is spelled as Rishi. You can drop me a note, and I would love to connect.
As always, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. As you know, this podcast is sponsored by Faster Outcomes. Rishi is the CEO. Faster Outcomes is the ultimate legal intelligence platform for lawyers and law firms of all shapes and sizes. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.